Hello. Hi, guys. Not sure who's here, but happy Wednesday. Getting a phone call. Hello. Welcome to Wednesday live Q&A. Where my people at? Give you guys a few minutes to log on here. Excuse me. I am exhausted. We had hey, Yurika, so nice to see you. Hey, Alex. Everyone's loading up. The gang's all here. We had an earthquake last night about 2 a.m. And I have not been able to get back to sleep. Hey, Della, how's my heart? It's exhausted. It's tired. I hope your heart is okay. Yeah. I tried to go back to sleep and I couldn't. And I'm living in a new place. Well, new to me. It's been a little over a year. Hey, Sarah. And so it was a lot louder and shakier here than in my other place. And let me just tell you, my dog no likey earthquakes. No. She bolted. She ran so fast. So freaking fast. So I'm working a little bit on the slower pacing, but that's okay, right? Because that's what flow is about. It's accepting the now moment, making peace with where you're at. I actually had to cancel a session today. I'm doing some energy work, and I just don't have enough energy to actually work on that client. So I had to really take a nice little ego check, right? And just go, okay, what is important here? Is it your health? Your energy? Yes, to both of those, right? So I made the choice to reschedule. Yeah, we're okay from the earthquake. Yeah, thank you, Della. It was a 4.2, I think. When you live in earthquake world out here in LA, you just start naming, well, what do you think the size was? How big was it? Ooh, that's what she said. So you get pretty good at sort of dictating what it was. So I am pretty much a yawn monkey today. So please forgive me for that. I wanted to make sure I showed up for you guys, but I have a sort of easy rest of the day. Although I don't know if if you would say it's easy. Sarah would like this one. I'm potty training Chelsea to potty inside, and then I'm going to transfer her to the patio. I learned something very interesting about animals and anxiety. So those of you who have pets who are anxious, here's a little fun information. So Chelsea has been she's a very nervous dog. Before I got her, I rescued her from the pound. She was 10 months. I don't know what kind of a life she had before. The only thing I know is she came from a hoarding situation. She's a lot of anxiety. And I normally take her on 2 walks a day, minimum 20 minutes, maximum 40 minutes. And that seems pretty reasonable and like a good walk, let's say even a 40-minute. Hey, Sammy, so nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. As you guys are loading up and prepping your questions and all the fun things and just sharing about puppy potty training. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Hey, Debbie, so nice to see you. Hey, Roxanne. Aw, everybody's here. This is so lovely. So here's the thing. Dogs have a nervous system too. Ha, who'd have thunk? And there's something called when they're triggered. You know what it's like to have an anxious dog. It's hard. So when a dog, at least I can speak for a dog. Hey, Natalia. Oh, from Colombia. Hola, hola. No hablo español bien. Comprendo más que hablar. Mi mamá es de Cuba. And I took Spanish in high school, maybe a little bit in college. I can't even remember. I can understand it. I just have a very difficult time speaking. So hello, Natalia. They have a nervous system, and when they get triggered, it can last up to 8. Hey, Jules, so nice to see you. You're going to pick up your little guy from school. Oh, well, thanks for checking in. That was so sweet of you. Have an easy pickup. It takes 8 hours for their nervous system to calm down once they've been triggered. Who'da thunk, right? So, Chelsea having anxiety, she gets triggered by, uh, bikers, joggers, just normal humans walking, those electric scooters, bicyclists, and on a walk, we encounter at least 2 to 3. So she's getting triggered 2 to 3 triggers, and when they're stacked, they're staggered and stacked, she's not having any time for her body to decompress, right? Like us, when we have anxiety, since all the energy is kept in the body, we also have to decompress, right? So her trainer suggested that I potty train her to actually potty in on either on my patio or in my apartment on potty pads. And so that's what I'm working on right now. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. But understanding anxiety and having it. Hello. And having pretty much every client that I work with has anxiety. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you've got some sort of anxiety. I understand it's just different to apply. It's different, but it's the same to apply it to a dog. So I'm doing my best to, like, I didn't know. At first I felt really bad. I'm like, "Oh, I'm walking her too much. She should be going on a walk like maximum right now 10 minutes a day." Once, like once a day. So, yeah. I don't know, is the feed clogged? I think the feed might be clogged. I don't know if anybody's writing anything, and I don't know. Sometimes YouTube is just, I don't know. Thank you, Della. Yeah, you hope it works out. Like, she's right now, I don't know if you can hear the sirens, but she's like alert. My trainer would tell me, start feeding her some treats and telling her, "You're okay. Everything's good. You're okay." And just making sure that she understands and like associates like good, happy with those sounds that are like triggering to her. So there's a lot. It's called reactivity. Hello, we humans are the same, but it's just interesting to do it with a creature or a being that doesn't have human words. So she finally pooped. It was almost 2 days that she didn't poop. She was holding it in. And so I went out to the patio and I swept it and we played a little bit. And I also learned that when I was giving her commands, go poop, make poopies, right? I'm activating, first of all, law of repulsion because I want it so bad. That's what I think has also been taking so long, is like, I'm always looking, are you pooping? Are you peeing? Hello, 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 right? Mm. So of course, the more I do it, the more she's not going to do it. Um, and so, uh, Sammy says she loves this weekly hangout. It's like chatting with friends. Oh, love it. Love it. Well, a lot of you guys do chat with each other, which is wonderful. Della says, wow, I really relate so much. I had to rehome my reactive dog a few months ago. It is not easy. And my previous dog, oh, he had anxiety, but it was nothing like this. He didn't have reactivity, but I had him since he was 6 weeks old. So I knew what his background was, right? I adopted her. I rescued her at 10 months. It's a long time. So, and here's the thing about trauma, you guys. Trauma actually happens or is created like after the event happens. Like, how are you working through the emotions that a particular event, or if it's a consistent event, is happening or happened, right? So there's an energetic imprint. Yes. So there can be that initial trauma, if it's physical trauma, mental abuse, something like that, right? It's the initial trauma, but really the trauma starts to happen or gets created or formed and then definitely kept and built up in the body as time goes on? And how are you psychologically, mentally, emotionally managing it and balancing it? So the trauma actually happens after the event, right? How are you being supported? How are you being held? How are you working through it? That's when the trauma develops. Della says, yes, I understand the effects of trauma on animals. I thought since I got her at 3 months that it was a clean slate, but her mom had died when she was 4 weeks. Definitely affected her. Sure, probably separation anxiety. Hey, Roxanne. My Samoyed took around 5 months to get used to most sounds. My trainer said to bag my horse, as in make a noise and don't react to it. Allow him to understand that it will not harm him. Right. So it's like making, hey, Sarah, I do see you. Um, yeah, so it's like making things just as natural as possible, right? Which is what we want to do when we're working on manifestation and creating a new way of being, right? Okay, Sarah has a super chat here. Her question is, will I get approved for an internship in the States next spring before getting out of the military? I do. I think you're going to get it. I feel like you're gonna get it because here's the reason why I feel like you're gonna get it. Like the actual yes, no, I don't know, but I feel like there's a lot of traveling for you. And I feel like you're here and then you're there. You're here and then you're there. So to me, that tells me there's gonna be some traveling, right? So if I remember correctly, Sarah, currently you're in Germany. So to go to come back to the States for an internship and then to go back to Germany, if that's where you're stationed, if I remember correctly, then yes, that's a lot of travel involved, and that's what I feel. I feel like physically you move locations. That's what that feels like. I feel like it would be a really good opportunity for you to do it too. There's something about you also networking or creating. I don't know. How do I wanna say this? Here's what I think I wanna say, Sarah, when you go wherever you land, wherever your internship is, why am I kind of is it in, like, Georgia or the South? Why do I keep getting that? I don't know if you know yet. I don't know. I keep getting a connection to the South. Anyways, when you go there, because I know that if I remember correctly, I shouldn't say I know, I remember correctly, you're also looking to see, like, where you might land after where you would live when you, leave the military. So wherever you're gonna do your internship, I would get to know that area very well, get to know the people, really live it up, literally live it up in that area and see if you like that area, because that might be an area you wanna come back to and like live or start a practice because there's networking opportunities. It feels like a good opportunity. Is there a connection? Do you know if there's something to Georgia or the South? Do you understand that? I don't know. Don't like latch onto that because I could be wrong, but I just feel like there's a connection. I don't know where it fits in your puzzle. All right, Della, thank you for the super chat. Here we go. I'm an artist and I've been feeling really. Hey, Roxanne, I'll get to you in just a moment. Della says, I'm an artist and I've been feeling really blocked artistically and creatively. Is there a reason for this? I'm struggling to break out of it. Yes. They're saying you're adulting too much. You're not having fun. So there needs to be some sort of play involved so that you are not bogged down in reality. Interesting. See, the thing about creativity is it needs flow. So it can easily come in and easily leave, easily come in and easily leave. But if you're too focused and you're too concentrated on something, there's no room for something to come in because it's very rigid. There's not enough flow. So the reason you're blocked, they're saying, is because you're not allowing yourself to play and have that flexibility of seriousness and play. It's just you're more flatlined with seriousness. I don't know if this makes any sense to you, but this is what they're saying. So creativity needs that openness, that flow to come in. So If you start playing more, you start to be silly. There's something about changing the environment you're into. I don't know if maybe you're just too much at home, you need to get out more. Um, Go out with friends, if you can travel, it will help with things, okay? Hey, Debbie, I see you. Just give me one moment. I'm going in order. So hopefully that helps, Stella. Roxanne, will I see Siska, my ex's dog again? Oh, my heart just broke. Um, mm, I feel so here's what I feel, and if you want me to be wrong, I want to be wrong, but I feel like definitely not in the now future. When I mean now future, hey sunflower. When I mean now future, I mean not anywhere in the near future. I almost feel like when you saw it feels like a him, I don't know, girl, boy, I don't know. I'm just gonna say it feels like a him. I don't know if you're gonna see him until he's older or he's just I don't wanna say more mature, but he's older. That's what I wanna say. If you do see him, it's not gonna be for a while, it would be when he's older. So there is a potential and a possibility. It's just listen, it's a timeline you can create, but make sure you're creating it from a healthy place and not because you wanna get back with the ex just to see the dog. Makes a sense, though? Okay. Sarah saying no connection to Georgia that you know of, but your family's in Florida and you have connections there. All right, so maybe your internship will be there. I don't know. Definitely keep me posted. I for some reason I'm seeing the South. Hmm. I don't know. All right, Debbie. Here we go. Oh wait, hold on one second. Della says, "Yes, it resonates. I definitely take myself too seriously when it comes to art. I do portraits, so when it doesn't look right, I get discouraged and just stop. More play definitely needed." Noted. Yeah. You'll notice a difference. This is actually really great for everybody, like the opposite of rigid or staunch, or when you hear the have tos. Hey sunflower, I see you. The have tos, I musts, I oughtas, those are the frequencies of rigidity, and like there's no room for miracles to happen. The opposite frequency is play and cheerfulness and silliness. Okay, so if you find yourself just being like so stuck, rigid, molassesy, you're not bringing enough joy, elation, happiness, playfulness, silliness into your life, and you should, and that'll neutralize and balance it out. All right, Debbie, do you think I will leave my current job for a new career opportunity out of state? Hold on, because I'm getting something. I need to try and make sense out of this. Here's what I'm picking up about it. I don't know if it's that nice, neat, and tidy, like perfectly set up. Or it's a transition. I do feel like there will be more travel with your work, which is interesting. So if this change does happen with your current job, I almost feel like you don't leave it right away, but there's something about back and forth, unless it's a remote situation where you're like, for example, I work remotely, right? Like I have clients in Bahrain, I have clients in Australia, but I'm here in Los Angeles. So in a way, the remote work because of the Wi-Fi would save me from traveling, but I get this sense of traveling. So if your current here's what I want to say. It's a very weird it's I'm just getting that it's not nice, neat, and tidy, wrapped up perfectly with that Tiffany bow. It feels a bit complicated and it feels like it could take some time. So if you're going to stay with your job, there could be a potential or a possibility for you to sort of switch maybe in a different position or create a position for you where there's more travel involved, where yes, you can leave the state, but you would still have a home base. Now, whether that meant you did more remote work or whether you physically were in person, that's more the information that I get. However, if you do, um, Hey, Alex, I see you. I'm still working on this one. This one's actually a little bit complicated. It's showing up as complicated. I almost feel like you're going to have several choices, and I think this is why it's complicated. I don't know that you're going to actually end up doing what you're thinking is going to be done, like it has to be done a certain way. I almost feel like there's opportunities for you. There will be travel, but it's not going to be a nice, neat, tidy box. So it's hard for me to answer yes or no. I know there will be travel. I know that you're going to feel a lot better. So whether you left this job and there was more travel and you had to go to another state, or whether you stayed in this job, created a position for yourself where you feel better, or there was an opportunity for you to feel better, you're going to feel better. There's something about 6 months. So in 6 months, you'll definitely have more of an answer than I'm giving you, like a firm yes or no. There's definitely travel. You will feel much better. I don't know if any of this makes sense. It may not make sense right now. Oh, Debbie, that makes sense. Current job is talking about creating a new position, but old boss has an opening in Chicago. Okay. So hold on. Let me feel into that because this is what I feel. Okay. And this is more of a compatibility, energetic thing. I feel like I feel like you would feel better, or that security and that knowingness. And when you have anxiety, that's what we want, like that outcome, that result. That's why I feel like you're kind of geared more towards, Chicago, so that you would be out of state because that feels familiar, right? That's that familiarity. But I kind of feel like the travel opportunity might be with this new position, with your current job, that new position. So really what I would do, cuz I almost feel like you're making a choice based on fear, don't shoot the messenger. And it makes sense, right? It's like, well, what feels more familiar? I know how this boss operates. I know, already how to be. I know what they will and won't allow. So there's that familiarity, right? And this new position, I don't know. Because I feel like you're not that happy with where you're at, but there's something about you being happier with this newly created position if you stay with your company. So I would definitely use my body as the indicator. I don't know when you have to make a decision, but I would move as slow as possible using my body as the indicator, not rushing into a decision. That's what I would do. 6 months from now, you're gonna feel so much better. So, that I know for sure, and I feel that. So, that is a really great outcome, whether you go to Chicago or not. I still feel like, again, you have to be the one to make this decision, but almost feel like that Chicago one is like it's like a fallback. It's almost like plan B in a way. I could be wrong. All right. Debbie, Sunflower, and then Alex, I do see you, just so you know that. I just want to make sure I'm going in the order. Yes, yes. Okay, is Chris trying to grow our relationship? I feel like it's yes, but he's unaware of it and you're defining it as something it's not yet. Ooh. So there's room to grow, but you're already identifying it as a relationship. There's something where it feels like it's not quite a relationship yet. Maybe it's something like you feel it's a relationship, but I feel like he's doing the work, so it's being cultivated, but he's not aware. So there's like almost this lack of awareness, or if it's not lack of awareness, it's lack of not connection, but like authenticity. No, it's like this firm resolution. It's like he's not moving forward firmly. He's kind of like if there is an awareness, which I kind of feel like there isn't, but if there is an awareness, he's like The answer ultimately is yes. It's just that I feel like you're defining it as something and it's just not there yet. So that's the best way I can answer that question. Roxanne says, I don't want to get back with my ex. Good. But the dog is 12, turning 13 this year. So I don't know if there's still time for me to see. See, I just feel like the older. So here's what you might want to, that makes sense. Sunflower, good. Okay, so Roxanne, you might want to reach out and just say, I want to, like bite the bullet, take your ego out of this and get really clear with what you want and need. If you want and need to see the dog before her earth suit is separated from her soul, you may want to just say, okay, Rick, I don't know what his name is. I really need to see the dog and I want to say goodbye to the dog, or I want to, make peace with the dog or whatever. Can I come see the dog? And literally go and see the dog and leave. But I feel like that's the only way you'd see the dog. You'd have to, and there's something about like definitely older. So if your dog is already older and that's something you feel like you need, when you're clear what you need and what you want, your boundaries are totally fine. Totally fine, right? Last week or 2 weeks ago during the rainstorm, I got in touch with someone who I do not want to be speaking with to right now, but I care about him and I cared about his dog and I checked in. But I know that I don't want him in my life right now. And I know that if he was, I would be completely derailed from my mission right now. So I know what I need and I know what I want. I was able to still check in and just say, hey, are you okay? Are you safe? Because out here in LA, we had horrible floods. Because I had heard somewhere that his street got horribly flooded, whatever. Anywho's, um, I did I knew what I wanted. I knew what I needed. I knew my boundaries. Yes, this is like an ex kind of sort of situation. So I went in, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I made sure to say, look, I'm not ready for anything else other than I'm just checking in right now on you. I want to make sure you're okay. So you could do something like that with a dog. It's up to you. Alex, will I be happier when I leave the military? My soul has struggled these last 2 years, and I'm curious if you see spiritual healing in my future. I do see you, Myra, and I do see you, Sunflower. Just heads up. Alex, so here's what I'm getting. You're waiting for salvation when you can be creating it right now. Oof. That's rough. I know that that's hard to hear. It's literally a mindset. So here's what I want to say. We can have freedom within boundaries, right? Right now you're bounded or boundaried by the military. But in between those boundaries, you can have an immense sense of freedom, but it is in your mind. It's a mindset, right? So the first step is making peace with where you're at instead of fighting it. As soon as you stop fighting it and you start making peace with where you're at, you will start to feel that sense of spirituality and spiritual healing. Because what spiritual healing is, it is working through the human aspects of ourselves, right? So right now, frustration, you said struggle. Yeah. Also understanding that this is temporary. Hey, Della, I do see you. It's temporary, but that's part of making the peace. So when you come, hey, Debbie, I see you. When you come online and you start to understand, know, and trust that you are a divine being of intelligence, love, and power, which means you have the ability to regulate your emotions. You have the ability to regulate your thoughts, and you have the ability to regulate the actions, movements, reactions, responses of the body. Right. And so you're working from your higher soul. Right. So right now you're working from the lower soul, the more entangled part, the part that is identifying that everything around us is real, which it is. Everything around you is real. This notebook is real. This laptop I'm working on is real. But your perception may not be real. Right. The feeling of struggle is real, but the perception may not be real. And that's where you need to work on. So let me scroll back to your question here. Will I be happier when I leave the military? I mean, ultimately, yes, because you're not going to have the environment continuously repeating and like hounding you. So, yes. However, you can start your process now by making peace with where you're at and stop fighting it. Okay. Sunflower, I see your super chat, but I don't see your. Oh, here we go. It's out of order. Okay. Sunflower. Myra and Della, I do see you guys. I can only go in order, right? Because there's only one of me at this point. More, I don't know what I would want more of me. Okay, Sunflower's question to get relicensed in aesthetics. And there was a question from Debbie too. I do see you. Okay, I got you. To get re-licensed in aesthetics, should I go to the school I got certified in the school my mom is recommend to get re-licensed in aesthetics? Should I go to the school I got certified in or the school my mom is recommending? Ooh. All right, I'm going to share with you the information that I get. You have to make your choice. It feels to me like you should get re-licensed at the school that you went to or got your original license from, because there's something about like your mom means well, but I feel like she doesn't have all of the information that she would need for the school that would benefit you. I don't know what that means. It's almost like you know what you're looking for, you know what you need and your want. Your mom's just trying to help you out. She's giving you a suggestion. The school may not be the best for you. That's what's coming through. But I cannot make that choice or decision for you. You've got to do it on your own. So you're going to be the one that has to make the decision. So you need to use your body as an indicator. Which one feels better in my body to me? Which one is like giving you like, and which one is there like an expansion versus a contraction? And that's going to be the right answer for you. Okay. Myra. Hey, Myra. I'm so happy to see you too. I was hoping you would give me some insight on my job. I feel like I'm not good enough and my supervisor isn't happy with my performance. I don't know whether to stick this out. Oh, sweetie. Here's what it feels like. I feel like, I mean, ultimately it's your choice, right? Again, just like I was telling Sunflower, I can't make this choice or decision for you, but here's the information that I get. I feel like you are being so hard on yourself and so structured with yourself. Again, there's no time for play. So there's no time, like your body, like I was talking about my dog earlier. I don't know if you came in earlier, but her body from so much stress and anxiety needs to decompress. And that's what I feel like is a big challenge for you is authentic, true decompression and letting go. I almost feel like you can't even find the answer because there's a lot of mud and muck going on in your mind. So this is you're being so hard on yourself that you're sort of back in overachiever mode. So what's happening, if you remember from our Shift Happens program, right? If you're in masculine energy overdrive, you got to bring some more of that feminine energy to you to neutralize, to get the best answer for yourself. Because when you're saying, should I stick this out? I mean, it feels like you're already feeling defeated and you're ready to give up. And the other thing is, I'm not sure you're giving yourself the true chance of what you're capable of just within yourself. Right. So my first suggestion would be to recalibrate yourself with feminine energy, because you might even be combating your boss, not even realizing it, coming from a masculine place. If your boss is masculine oriented, doesn't matter if they're male or female. Remember, energy influences energy. Have you the other thing that's coming up is, I don't know, I know you're saying my supervisor isn't happy with my performance. Has your supervisor given you any suggestions on how you can make your performance better? And then within that realm, use the feminine energy to bring that aspect in. What I'm really getting is that you're being so hard on yourself and you're pushing yourself, you're pushing yourself, you're pushing yourself. It's like your life is so rigid, your life is so structured that there's no chance for you to even find solution or like how to make yourself feel better because you're just like stuck in this big piece of cement. That's what your energy feels like right now to me. Like it's just really hard, it's rigid, it's not going anywhere. I hope this helps. I don't know if this is helpful or not, but, the ultimately, hey, sunflower, I see your question again. Um, but ultimately, it really does feel like you are good enough. For crying out loud, you're good enough. It's just you don't see it, you don't feel it. Remember the feminine energy exercises, taste, touch, smell, hear, right? It's time to go back and revisit those, recalibration. Okay? I hope that helps. Della, and then Debbie, and then Sunflower. Okay. Della, I really want to be able to communicate more clearly with my guides. I've been trying through journaling, but is there any other advice you have? Yes, meditation. I hate you, Terry. Your answer's always going to be meditation. Yeah, because meditation, what it does is it connects you to your higher soul. That's where the conversation is going to be. Now, the thing is, when you have anxiety, you have to do it different ways, right? So, flame dancing is my number one go-to for everybody if you have anxiety, the heart tapping. But for the flame dancing, set your alarm on your phone for 3 minutes, light a candle, play your favorite music, and literally focus and just watch the candle flame. It may just stay this way the whole time. It may go side to side, but that's what you're focusing on. And what you're doing is you're training your brain through neuroplasticity, which means you have to do this over and over and over again. You're creating a pathway to focus. Okay. Uh, don't worry about clearing your mind from thoughts because people like us just can't. So we just have to find other ways of making that connection, which we totally can. Not traditional. It's just not traditional. There's nothing wrong with that. I never do anything traditional. I go rogue, even when it comes to my card readings, everything. It's just everything is rogue. You got to use your intuition. You're not a dumbass, right? So start with that. Start making the connection to your higher soul. Your higher soul has the access to your cosmic family, to your guides, all the peoples. Okay? So, what you might want to do is journaling is great. Go into this flame dance with an intention. My intention is to make connection with the divine, let's just say. And then watch that flame dance. That's all you have to do. Release all expectations, release anything that you want. Just really, truly, authentically be in the now moment. When I do my Shift Happens program, this is what we focus so much on connection to the divine through connection to ourself, so much energy management through thought process, through body somatic work, because the soul uses the body that holds all of the energy. And the soul is the pathway to the divine. So if you don't know how to manage your emotions, people, if you do not know how to manage your anxiety, it's very difficult to access your intuition. And there's a difference between intuition and instinct. Instinct keeps you alive, so it's very ego based. Intuition is not ego based. Intuition is truth and authenticity. So there's a difference between instinct and intuition. Yes, yes. So start with the flame dancing. Okay, I hope that helps, Della. You're welcome, Myra. Debbie, man help now. Woo woo. AJ's Anthony silence due to him traveling, or did he decide not to continue seeing me? It's okay either way. Just want clarity. I kind of feel like he's just like using the excuse of travel to cut or to not cut, but to uh fizzle. I think the word is fizzle. Just it's a great excuse for him to just be like, I just don't feel like he- I don't feel like he's that serious about being in any kind of relationship, whether it's you or someone else. So it's definitely not a you thing. It's just who he is. So I'm glad you're okay with it being okay either way, but it's fizzling. Um, there's already a sense of convenience anyways, so you might hear back from him, but I don't know that it would be to the same level or extent that it has been. If you want me to be wrong, I want to be wrong. Natalia, I have an opportunity to move to Kissimmee this year. Do you see that happening in a good way? Well, Natalia, I think okay, there we go. Oh, so I see you asked your question first. Okay. So Natalia was first and then Sunflower. Sorry. Roxanne, I see you. Sarah, I see you. Okay. Natalia, I have an opportunity to move to Kissimmee. That's in Florida, I think. Do you see that happening in a good way? Yeah. It's interesting. I just had a vision of a manatee, which I know are very popular in Florida. I think you're talking Florida. I don't know, but I had the vision. Either way, it doesn't matter. To me, it felt very happy. Manatees, when you look at them, they to me they always seem like they're smiling and like happy. So I do feel like it's gonna go in a ultimately end of it. It might be a little bumpy. There might be a little bit of like there's a saying, man plans, God laughs. That's kind of what it is. And that's actually the theme pretty much of 2023. Plot twists. You think something's going to happen one way and actually ends up being another way, but it ends up like even better than you could have imagined. So that's why it's super important like to plan as little as possible this year. And just again, go with the flow. Just see what happens, right? Um so yeah, I feel like when you say in a good way, I do feel like you're smiling and you're enjoying yourself. Or will there be bumps in the road? Absolutely. Delays? Absolutely. But I do see it happening in a good way, at least from what I'm understanding that you're asking. I hope that helps. Sunflower, how is Braden currently feeling about me? I still I feel like it's not a romantic thing. I don't feel he feels romantic about you. Is he saying things? Is he, like you want to really make sure his words and his actions meet. This Braden guy feels like a clown to me already. Sorry to just be so blunt like that. But you shouldn't have to be asking every week for months now, what's going to go on with Braden? Am I going to see Braden? A real, authentic, masculine energy is going to give you information and data, right? That's going to give you the clarity. At this point, he's a clown. That is an opinion I am making of him because I feel like if he is, I don't feel like he's fully plugged in the way that you want him. So he could, like for him, he could totally just be friends, but his definition of friends is different than yours. His energetic exchange or his input or what he would give to this friendship is different than yours. And to me, he feels like a clown already if he knows how you feel about him and he's not giving you clarity. Masculine energy should lead. You should have no questions. And if you do have a question, you ask and you tell this masculine energy, this is how I feel, which is why I need to know. Right? You guys always hear me say, information is medication for anxiety, folks. Okay, you do not have enough information for two reasons. One, he's being a clown. Two, you're not actually like saying what's the dealio. But it's not fair. I don't feel like it's fair to you what you're actually allowing. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay. Roxanne, is there an age difference between myself and my person? Well, there's always gonna be an age difference unless they're born the same moment you are, and they're not, and even twins are born like 2 minutes apart. So yeah, there's gonna be an age difference. There will be. Della said, "Ooh, I never thought about instinct versus intuition like that. That makes a lot of sense." So no. All right, how much Sarah? Am I getting another call? Go away. Sarah, how much longer will my friend freely stay in the military? Can you clarify this for me? Uh Sarah, is freely male or female? Um because I can't even get into the energy of this person unless this person's extremely private, and like I have to respect, because in a way it's like tapping into their energy, and like even if they don't know they're being tapped into, they can still like be like, I don't want my energy read. Right? I can't get any information. So can you give me that? Because I feel like I'm not even connecting to energy at all with this person. So I'll be on standby. Natalia, yes, Florida, but I'm in Colombia, so it's a big step. Yeah, I hear you. It is a big step. You're welcome. Sunflower, no, we haven't spoken, and he is a clown. Yeah, well, girl, it is time for you to let that clown go. He can live in his circus. Roxanne, I mean, like a big one, lol, but that's okay. Sarah, female, okay. How much longer will my friend? I feel like your friend's gonna be there longer than you are. Is it longer or shorter? I'm getting longer or shorter, longer or shorter. Here's what I wanna say, there's an element of luck in this, like you get out sooner, or you're freer earlier than she is. So, even if it's just by a few months or whatnot, I still feel like she's gonna be there longer than you. I feel like she's scared. What is this about her being so scared? And thank you for sharing that, because like once I was able to get into that, I was like, oh, okay. She's scared. I don't know what that is about her being scared. Um, yeah. Okay. So let me just scroll back here and let me make sure I didn't miss anybody's super chat. Alex, Sunflower, Myra, Della, Debbie, Roxanne, Natalia. Yeah. Okay. I haven't I haven't missed anybody's. Yeah. Oh, Natalia, do you see any possibility of me having a baby, like, ever? Yes. It's just not in the way you think it's gonna be. So, here's what I mean by that. If you think it'll be natural, like a natural conception, it may not be. You might have to do, like, IUI, you might have to do, like, what is it called? Like, in vitro, or you might have to adopt. But yes, I do see you having, or whoever you marry or whoever you partner up with has a child already. So yeah, I feel like you'll have a kid, you'll have a baby. Like, I feel like that's going to happen. It's just not going to be in the way that you're expecting. Guys, remember, you can plan all you want. Oftentimes, God has a different story for us, and it usually turns out better. Yeah, Sarah says, yeah, she's very indecisive at the moment, I think. Yeah, I feel like she's like scared. You're like a rock for her. You can help like ground her. So that might be good. I feel like as of this conversation right now, based on the timelines and everything, the choices she's making, she'll be there longer than you. That's what's coming up. Could be a month longer, a week longer, 3 years longer. I don't know, but I feel like ultimately she will be there longer than you. Yeah. Uh Roxanne, like a big one. It's hard to say because you're not ready for them right now. With you, things keep changing. It's interesting, Roxanne. I don't know what's going on with you. Not I don't mean that in a negative way, but but there's almost like because you can't get a handle of your emotions, like the choices and decisions that you're making are kind of like all over the place. You're very scattered. So it's hard to lock in. You have one. You have a person. Like I get that loud and clear. Like yes, she's got a person. Um but if you when you think about it, the age difference does not really matter. It's the quality of person and the kind of relationship you're gonna have. So, that's more important. I think you should become the person you want to have a relationship with. The reason it's as cheesy as it is, the reason to do that is so you're in that energetic frequency. Because really what the manifestation is not the partner. It's how you would feel as if you had the partner. That's the manifestation. Natalia, thank you. I've been married for 9 years and looking for a baby for 2 years now, but my husband doesn't want to adopt or do treatment. Apparently, there's nothing wrong with us medically. And then it's definitely a law of repulsion thing. You want it too bad, then you're pushing it away. I mean, thankfully, there's nothing wrong with you. One of you guys is not feeling safe enough to allow a baby soul to come in. So, you guys are not on the same page with this at all. That's enough resistance right there for a baby soul to go, nah, I'm not going to choose that family. I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just trying to say, like, if you have a partner and you're whether you're married or not married and you guys are both on the same page of things with things that can happen really quick. I'm still working with this client who she's like, I want to get pregnant. I'm like, all right, how badly do you want to get pregnant? She's like, really bad. I'm like, you can't want it really bad. So she worked really hard on not wanting it really bad. She actually got pregnant really fast, probably within 3 months of working together. She got pregnant and she's thankfully healthy pregnancy. Just getting her baby because she had to learn to not want it so bad. So law of repulsion, you guys. Law of repulsion has its benefits. Like when you're feeling like shit, right? And you want to feel better, you go into that vibrational frequency so that you push it away. But when you want something really bad and you're like, I want it, I want it, I want it, and you're putting remember, you guys, never forget. Wherever you place your attention, energy is going to follow. Whether you place your attention on a thought, whether you place your attention on a feeling, whether you place your attention on your body or a response or anything that can come from the body, you are activating a frequency. Okay? And the nature of when you understand how energy works and you start practicing and experimenting with energy, you consistently get the same results over and over and over again. And when you understand how energy works, you can use it to your benefit, right? So law of repulsion is not always bad. Law of repulsion can be really good because if you're feeling shame or guilt, oh my God, let's activate the fuck out of law of repulsion, right? But if you want a baby really bad and you activate law of repulsion, not good, right? Hey, Natangio. Oh God, I'm butchering your name. NT Antangio Natando Yanoxy Tequila. I'm so sorry. My brain, my one brain cell is like, I can't handle this. Abort, abort, abort. I'm so sorry. I just totally butchered you. Your name, not you. Your name. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Uh Sarah, side question. Do baby souls actually pick their families? Why, yes, they do. They sure do. Eureka, how much can you want something without repelling it? That's actually a good question because you have to have that desire, the initial desire. You need desire plus action. So it's such a delicate dance because you need to also be in action It's about detachment. That's what it's about. Not making something more important than you. It's a fine dance, and it's through experimentation. I call it play, like when I'm trying to like create something. It's a really good question, Eureka. You can want something, but you need to be able to get really good at changing the subject, distracting, knowing when to focus on something and when not to, because it still needs the energy of focus. It's just how much focus. It's a very individual thing. I mean, generally speaking, yeah, you can't want it too much. But individually, everybody has different frequencies. So it's like, well, what's my frequency? How can I do that? And each person has their own programming, conditioning, and trauma that needs to be worked through for energetic alignment. Yes, I know. So it's like simple in theory, but it's complicated in follow through or action. But wanting something is not good enough. You actually have to be in action towards it. Consistency of aim and effort is the virtue in Buddhism, the Eightfold Path, right? So, yes. We do the best that we can, but when we understand that we are humans being utilized as a vehicle of the higher soul, and ideally the way we need to go through life is through observation and witness, that gives us the control, and therefore we get to play around and detach. When we're detached from things, that's when things show up. So it's all about detachment and learning when to attach and then detach, because there does need to be some attachment. So hopefully that helps. Uh is that it, you guys? I think that's it. All right. Well, lovely friends and family, also known as framily. Another great week, you guys. I'll see you guys Friday night. Yes. Or at least you guys can catch the replay. I don't think I missed anybody's super chat. I'm going through it again because I really don't want to miss anybody's super chat, but I don't think I've missed a super chat. You're welcome, Eureka. You're welcome, Della. Yeah, last week I just couldn't. I need to manage my energy too. Uh, you know, hurt people, healed people, heal people, right? There's so much truth to that. So you're only as good of a healer, as a intuitive, as whatever, as a garbage man, whatever you do. You're only as good of one as you are yourself, that you can be of service to other people, right? So you can't make anybody or anything else more important than you. But there's that fine line of having compassion, loving kindness, and forgiveness, right? It's really learning how to fine tune and balance the emotions. And being a human, whoo, it is hard, you guys. It's hard. So if any of you guys do or are interested in learning how to do that, I can help you out with that. My perspective is of spirituality and energy management and quantum and neuroscience, light science education. So that's my Shift Happens program. You can, if you click on the link tree in this in the description center, it'll take you to there. But yeah, I mean, anxiety lies to you. Anxiety will stop you from your intuition and making really the best choices and decisions for yourself. So, we're doing the best we can, you guys. Practice compassion, loving kindness, and forgiveness on yourself first before you give it to other people. It's the mask on the airplane metaphor. You're no good for anybody else if you're not first good and stable yourself, right? All right, you guys. Oh, and I've revived my podcast. So I have been recording more podcasts. So you can check that out and watch that on YouTube or through any of the audio platforms. Okay. Thank you, Della. You've been loving the podcast. Yeah, I've kind of been inspired by a few things. So bringing sexy back there. Working on a lot of things here. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay connected. Take care of that wonderful, beautiful, dynamic heart. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.